The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
This is where the fun begins.
Get ready for raw, unfiltered Razorback talk. Nobody knows what they'll say next. It's time to go inside the Hawg Pen with Razorback Zach, Marcus MC Carlton, and Sarah Swish Vogel.
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for another exciting episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Gotta love it. Except we don't like the Vandy game, but we're going to talk about it anyway later on in the show. Boy, but we've got a lot to cover tonight. Thank you to everybody that joins us tonight. Gonna introduce my team, my crew of misfits here. I'm Razorback Zach, your host, as always, from the Central Arkansas Hog Pen. From the NEA, the glue, my brother, and let's just put it this way, the brains behind the operation, Marcus MC Carlton. And at the bottom of your screen, she's still a rookie, but we still love her as long as she just, picks a ham bone and not a turkey bone. Sarah Swish Vogel, what's up, y'all?
Howdy ho, neighbors.
Neighbors.
A couple. Oh,
You want me to call you assholes? I mean, what do you want?
I'll take that. After the day I've had, sure, I'll take it. It'll be nice.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, leave us a review. Leave us 1 star, 5 stars. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell MC to quit bitching on Twitter. Tell Sarah to quit calling Kendall Diggs daddy. Tell me to quit screaming louder. Oh, and by the way, eat your taters. Do it for me, Sarah. Go ahead.
Louder.
We'll pick.
Oh, it's crazy.
So we're going to start off with some good news
your
tonight.
taters.
There it is. So we're going to start off with some good news tonight. Baseball is just as good as it's advertised. And Sarah, you went to Arlington, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But I have to ask, we beat Oregon State. Is the curse broken?
I don't believe in curses.
What?
Siri's over here talking.
Bad teams.
Wow. I think you're the first athlete I've ever met, former basketball player, baseball, softball, whatever, in any sport that doesn't believe in jinxes, curses, and all that.
I believe in superstitions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a routine, like routines.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in curses. I don't like that voodoo shit.
I don't see. My thing is I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, you got about a month
to
see what they're really made of, because LSU comes to town in a month, and that's when it's gonna. That's the true.
Well,
that's
at the same time.
Test. That's the first test in my eyes.
Well, not really, because Oklahoma State was the first test. That thing went 15 innings. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That thing went 15 innings, and that was a good test. That was, but you're 5-2, 6-2 now, 2 losses.
5-2,
6-2. We played 8 games.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. After Grambling, it's 6-2. Yeah.
So in all honesty, MC, we're on track, right as good as they're advertised, right?
I mean, I think so. Sarah, tell us what you saw that you liked from Arlington, because I know what you didn't like. You didn't like the lack of hitting.
The pitching is what I loved. Your starting lineup going, none of them, I think 0 runs earned by all 3 of them.
Yep.
Their ERA was a combined 0. I mean, obviously you had Hagen's record-breaking performance, but then I was very impressed with Saturday went to 15, 14 innings, however many it was. I was crying by the end of it. But the people who stepped up.
Yeah.
Freshmen.
Gackle.
You had Gackle. You even had Faraday out there.
Yep. Faraday. Yeah. Let's talk about your boy Faraday.
Pitched that day. It was crazy.
Faraday comes out in the Oregon State game to shut it down.
Yes.
And just, I mean, he needed a wheelbarrow to take his grapefruits off the field when he was done. I mean, just the best performance we've probably ever seen from him.
Yeah, he did not do so great the next night, though. But
yeah. But pitching on back-to-back nights. Yeah, I mean.
But you had Fish, you had Gackle. If y'all are coming into the Hog Pen, please do not bring tuna fish out there. I don't know why people keep talking about that, But I don't want to smell fish out there when I already smell it. Please.
What?
Keep your
Okay,
fish
where's
at home.
Wait, okay.
you know
big
what,
tuna
for Fisher?
They
Okay.
call him Big Tuna, and
Big
everybody's
tuna,
talking
yes.
about bringing tuna into the hog pen, and I'm like,
is the hog pen going to become like they do in the NHL? You know, and with the Red Wings, when somebody gets a hat trick, they throw a raw octopus onto the ice, and in Nashville for the Predators, they do a catfish. So are we gonna, if Fisher comes out and has like a complete game, or are we gonna start throwing, raw fish into the outfield?
If he throws a complete game, you can throw whatever the hell you want out there. If it's a complete game, throw whatever. But just because he's pitching, we ain't eating tuna in the hog pen. The lake over there already smells enough. Like
let's put this into perspective, though. Okay, it's 200 degrees in the spring on a hot Saturday afternoon, and somebody cracks open a can of tuna fish.
Oh God. Oh man.
You can already smell the lake. I know Zach knows the lake smell too. Imagine the lake smell mixed with the fish smell, mixed with just sweat.
Oh God. All right.
That's the camping smell of the guys who have been on the sidewalk for 4 days. That's a bad smell.
Ooh, boy.
I don't know how I quite feel about that.
That's making me wanting to get the Lysol spray right now.
The hog pen, do not bring tuna.
Where's my decon mask at? Damn.
I'm just gonna pack it. I'm gonna pack some Febreze.
Like that's gonna work in the come on. Like that's gonna work in the hog pen.
Yeah.
It'll work under my nose, and that's all that matters.
Right. So let's talk about this Little Rock game that the Travs tried to sell tickets to. And I say that because look, MC's face says it all.
It was so bad. I had to buy 2 sets of 2 because they wouldn't let me buy 3 and whatever. They wouldn't let me buy 3. I could only buy sets of 2.
Okay.
I got mad and said a bad word and decided just not to buy any tickets.
Well, I have 2 that a certain someone hasn't paid me for.
I'm waiting for my paycheck to hit. Damn it, leave me alone.
But no, like it was the most annoying. Like I had to keep refreshing. Then it was like put the code in. Luckily, I knew what the code was from previous post on Facebook, but it didn't work for season ticket holders or foundation members the night before. So then when it went to regular people the next day, it was even worse. Yeah, like it was so bad. I refreshed the page probably 10 times just to get a ticket.
Okay, so when you're down in Arlington, I mean, what was the ratio as far as Hog fans versus everybody else? Because
it was Hogs versus everybody. There was no one else.
And that's how we roll.
Bomb Walker style, baby.
Oregon State, they had for being like distance-wise, they had a pretty good turnout. They had, a decent amount of people. I definitely expected more OSU fans. The Pokes weren't poking in Globe because they were like non-existent. Like I have a video of the stadium that day, and literally from like 3 sections past their dugout all the way around is red, and then we're red up in the outfield. Like it was all Hogs on Saturday.
So, I mean, first off, I'm a Rangers fan, and if anybody got a picture of the World Series trophy, please send it to me. Thank you. But I mean,
I bet.
Okay, I have to ask this, okay? And I want the fans to get involved. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for joining us. We kind of gained a lot of ground this past weekend for streaming of on Twitter.
Our special event.
So
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute. All right. We bitch and complain all the time about having to play in Little Rock, having to play football in Little Rock and having to play in Dallas, and all these other places. We bitching about playing down here in Little Rock for the basketball game. Do we feel the same way about playing in Dallas for baseball at Globe Life?
See, that's different to me.
Yeah.
To me, that's the equivalent of like basketball playing in Maui or basketball playing in Atlantis. It's not the same thing as playing in Little Rock. Football doesn't really do tournaments, so it's hard to compare to football. But to me, it's essentially the same thing as basketball in a tournament in some Caribbean because they're going to the beach no matter where they're going. But
yeah,
like to me, it's not that big of a deal. I really wish I knew where we were playing next year. Like if it's going to be at Globe Life again, or if we're going back to Round Rock or wherever. But
I just want somebody other than
Katie's gonna want to go, and oh my God,
I just want somebody other than Flow Sports to carry it.
I had heard somewhere where that's. Go ahead, Sarah.
Some people actually thought it was better this time, at least. A lot of people didn't have as many.
The stream actually did look better from when we were watching it live. So yeah, it did look like that.
Yeah, for me, I just really don't care. Like, if you're going to complain about spending $15, pay the $50 to go to the game. I don't know. Like, it just makes me mad when people are complaining about a $15 membership you can cancel the next day.
Well, I think a lot of the people that I saw complaining were ones that I saw last year that had trouble getting the cancellation to go through. And
yeah, that was a lot of it last year.
That's why you use your Cash App card and then just don't put money on the Cash App card. Like, it's not hard to do other things or cancel that card and get a new card. Like,
very true.
Sarah
I'm kind of the kind of person that
Sarah out here living in 21, 24 and leaving the rest of us behind.
Right.
If I cancel it, they're not getting my money. It don't matter. It does not matter.
That's true. Hey, let's jump over to the Hog
my money.
Feedback. Chris Ferracci says, Vandy, trust me, dude.
Dude.
I've got something special for one of our top fans who's been asking about it for a couple of weeks, and that describes perfectly that game and the season. Perfectly. Chuck Pendergrass says, hey, let's just talk baseball. No need to be depressing. We're not depressed here, man.
I'm kind of with Chuck, but y'all know I love hoops, but I am so over this team. It's not even funny.
Love hoops.
So we attempted to have a live in-game reaction during the game with all of us from ITHP. And what y'all didn't see on screen was all of us except during the commercials and halftime.
Right.
And I swear to God, y'all, I wish I'd have taken a screenshot of this. MC, go ahead and do what you were doing during almost all game. You were just exactly it.
You want to see what Sarah was doing?
Snoozing.
Yeah.
Sarah got a blanket and just laid down.
Sarah went full Linus on us from Peanuts. She got her blankie and laid down and just, made the best of it.
Frank Burr says, can we say stop shopping on a baseball trip? Sarah, do you have an explanation?
Well, I would have got to keep shopping if someone would have got the cops called. Frank.
Loki says, as far as the Vandy game, the news has to report train wrecks just the same as the rest of the news.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then, of course, we got fair. Royalty in the house. Casey Sutton is here. By the way, Casey, I have something special for you on the other side of the break when we talk about basketball. So stay tuned. Coming up on the other side of the break, we're going to, before we talk basketball, because we're trying to avoid that, people on Twitter love to put their foot in their mouth, don't they?
I mean, that's all it is. That's what it's for.
It really is. We're going to continue on Hog Wild Life and Feedback. Loki says, I don't believe in jinxes or curses either. I believe sometimes things just get called redacted, and that is where you find out who is legit and who isn't. Side-eyes the basketball roster.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I'll
iron another shot.
Don't let her lie. I mean,
I never said I didn't like him.
Yeah, I start saying it. She's not denying that. So,
oh, never will I ever.
Never will I.
Actually,
let's see. Well, I've lost my place here. Oh, Brad Staten says, for those that are worried / complaining about the lack of hitting, it is way too early to panic.
Yeah, y'all got to chill out on that.
I'm not worried and I'm not complaining. I was just saying I wish we would have got hits that weekend.
Oh, I complain.
I'm cautiously optimistic that we can get back into the swing of things, and it was just a bad weekend.
Look, this is kind of like when you get in early season football and the defenses look really good and the offenses look like 3-day-old turds. This is kind of the same thing. Pitching always runs ahead of hitting at the beginning of the season. Now, it bothered me a little bit that we couldn't seem to – I mean, we left small villages on the bases, especially against Oklahoma State. I think we ended up leaving 16, 17 people, something like that, on base for the game.
I remember.
But
It was
hey,
a
let's
bunch.
shout out our starting rotation. Hagen Smith setting not only an Arkansas record, a Globe Life Stadium
Yep.
record. Not even the Rangers did it.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, Hagen Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
He broke the Arkansas record, or tied the Arkansas record.
Tied the Arkansas
He
record.
tied the Arkansas record,
Mhm.
and then he set a new Globe Life field record.
Mhm.
Yeah. Arkansas set 2 Globe Life field records that weekend.
Yeah, because we also got the longest game ever in Globe Life, the
Yep.
most strikeouts in a game. I don't know if that was Globe Life record, but I know that was the Arkansas record.
Yeah. Brandon Laughlin says Arkansas has to finish the story this year. Woo Pig Suey.
I like that, Brandon.
I see
Yeah,
what you did there.
Yeah.
I wish on the stats it would tell you how many hitters were left in running position.
Yeah, that's one. If you're going to dive off into the numbers, that's one I would like to see, because I know we didn't have as many in the Oregon State game because neither team was really hitting the ball in that one. But we had multiple opportunities in the Oklahoma State game. I mean, in all honesty,
We had 8 hits. They only had 6.
I mean, if I really want to nitpick, we should have went 3-0 down there.
I mean, yeah.
I want to be nice because he's doing good behind the plate, but part of the reason we lost OSU was having a unskilled third baseman with 5 errors behind, because he didn't know to come in. He didn't know to. I'm talking about Sprague-Law if nobody's catching on.
Yeah.
He's struggling at third.
Well, and he's
know
playing out of position right now too.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was a miscommunication by the team, but someone needed to tell him to, because it's pretty obvious they were going to bunt. Like from way up there, we're yelling bunt. Like everybody knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But he's the one person completely out of whack.
And I mean, it was about as perfectly placed of a bunt as you could do too in that situation. I mean, it was good. You know,
it was going to happen either way, but he could have maybe go in.
Yeah, he could have. You know, if and of course it's it's easy to sit here and point it out now, but it's a lesson for him moving forward.
Yeah.
You got to charge that ball to where there's at least a play at the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I didn't care who got to third. I cared who went to home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, he says, someone said during the special event, Aloy is trying to be a superstar player on a team full of them. I think there's something to that.
I think the man is overthinking and he's pressing.
I think he got a lot of preseason hype and goes to your head.
And I think he's putting pressure on himself. I mean, the thing that sticks out to me about Aloy is, and he was a little bit better in the Grambling game, but also consider the level of competition. He seems anxious. It seems like his patience at the plate is not really there, because I saw him swing at some really bad first pitches, and then if he did get deep into the count, he chased some really bad pitches too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Frank says,
again, it's early.
Frank says Stovall comes back. He goes to first. McLaughlin to third. Sarah, do you agree with that?
For the most part, yeah.
All right.
If so, where does when Stovall comes back, you got to figure he's going to second. Where does Peyton Hope go to?
Oh, he'll go to third.
He'll go to third, and then Sprague-Law will back him up.
I think Sprague-Law goes to designated hitter, and we take the catchers out of the designated hitter spot. Because I've been pissed about I shouldn't actually. I've just hated having like this weird catcher rotation, but I know it's hard. We're trying to figure out which one's the better catcher. Yeah. But I think we need Sprague-Law in with a bat no matter what. I don't care where he's at. I don't care. Turn him into the Kendall Dakes. Put him out in the outfield. Like that's what someone said. Like take Jason Jones' place, but he did really well yesterday. So like, I love me some Jason. Like, don't take him out. But if you have to Sprague-Law in, you have to keep that man with the bat. No matter what you do, a bat needs to be in that man's hand.
I agree. Whoever's got the hot bat, you have to keep them in the lineup.
Yeah.
In some capacity, and that's why I'm really hoping, and that Jason Jones had a really good game versus Grambling. I'm really hoping that brings his confidence in, because Dave has made the comment that he's got all the tools. It's just he just needs to get out of his own head and hit the ball.
Yep.
So hopefully that'll carry over. It was nice to see him and Aloy both get some really good hits. Hopefully those guys can take that and kind of build on it this weekend when Murray State comes into town.
I wish there was a way to I know this is going to, baseball people are going to think I'm dumb, but I wish there was a way for there to be a contact to bat stat. I want to know if they got a hit, but they got out at first, because Aloy's had some really good hits. They've just not, maybe popped over the first baseman's head or popped over the second baseman's head. Whereas Diggs, they've gone just, maybe even a foot higher, but It's just right over the second baseman. Because Aloy's not doing quite as bad as everybody, stat-wise, and because he's made contact, he's just getting thrown out.
Right now, he's hitting the ball hard. He's getting good, solid contact. It just happens to be going right at somebody.
Yes, exactly. And so I wish I could see that in a stat. I want to see that in a stat.
I'm reading Josh's
Josh
here.
Go ahead, MC. My bad.
Tell me where you're going to make it any College World Series right now, because we're not going anywhere basketball. I mean, man, it's way early to start talking about Omaha.
Well, I think no matter what, we could make a run, but it's definitely going to depend who we end up against. In regionals, getting put up against TCU again, not it.
Yeah.
But we could go pretty far if we get good matchups.
Dylan has a conspiracy theory that TCU is stealing our signs during this.
He's convinced
TCU was
me
just
on
a better
that.
damn team.
He's convinced me on it.
We'll have to talk about that on another show. But hey, we're gonna step away for a break. When we come back, another person on Twitter and a big name on Twitter has, I would say, put his foot in his mouth, but it's a little bit further than that. We've got an all-new segment called ITHP Investigates. It's the NIL. Coming up on the other side of the break, you're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach hanging out with you alongside Marcus MC Carlton and Sarah Swish Vogel. Okay, so this whole thing about NIL, and I know MC, you and I have probably talked this thing to death, but this whole situation that unfolded this afternoon unfolded in 45 minutes.
Oh no, it's been going on for a while.
It blew up. It blew up rather quickly.
It blew up rather quickly. So
I've got the tweet. I've got the tweet.
Let me take. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it up there. Let me take the banner down. Go ahead.
So this is Chris Bauer. He is the executive director of the Arkansas Edge. And he throws this out there. I'll read it for those that might be listening on the podcast instead of watching us live. You need to watch us live, but at least you're listening to the podcast. It says, please share. There is no reason this class couldn't be top 15 when it is finished with a strong at Arkansas Edge NIL, but we need everyone in Hog Nation to have a chance. $10 or $10,000, every bit matters. Join or contribute at and then he gives the website arkansasEdgeNIL.com. DM me about corporate partnerships. Okay, so he's got a quote tweet here on the 2025 top 25 classes in football recruiting. And in the quote tweet, you've got the top 25. Notre Dame's number 1, Clemson 2, LSU 3, and then you also have Arkansas sitting at 22nd right now. Now, okay, here's my old man yelling at the cloud moment. I get what he's going for here. I get that you're trying to get on social media. You're trying to solicit your money for NIL. I get it. But this tweet was put out this morning. I don't know.
At the bottom. 7:30 p.m. last night.
Yeah, so 7:30 last night. So right before the Vanderbilt game. It didn't really get any. I didn't see it until this morning. I thought it come out this morning.
I saw it super early this morning.
Yeah,
probably
I didn't.
It
didn't get much traction until I'd say 9, 10 a.m. this morning. Does that sound about right, Sarah?
Probably about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I get what you're doing, Hoss, but timing is everything. You're coming off the worst basketball loss in the Muss era. Football is still, a lot of people are still so frustrated with football that they're just kind of, they're on the verge of flipping the middle finger at it. And, you're talking about $10 or $10,000. Okay, if I'm contributing $10 a month, is that really going to make the difference in this class being top 15 or 22nd? I mean, I feel like you're kind of chasing the wrong rabbits here. It seems like to me that they're putting too much focus on common fans like us rather than the big dogs that have the $10,000 to commit to NIL.
Yeah. I have two kind of points to make here because one, for me, the whole reason NIL was created was not for this shit. NIL was created for businesses to partner with players to create merchandise with their name, image, and likeness. Right. It was not for fans to pay players. That was not the point. That's still not the effing point.
Right. I agree.
The point 100%. Is for businesses and corporations to partner with players. Second point, if you're going to make a freaking post on a social media platform, have some damn training to know how to respond and not just block your donors. Yeah. Your damn donors. Do not block them. Learn how to respond in a productive manner or have an adult face-to-face conversation. Set up a time. Even me in college knows to set up a time to meet with people to discuss disagreements, not just block a coworker, basically.
Well, and I mean, at some point, take your L on the tweet because,
or just delete it.
This poor man was getting absolutely destroyed in the replies. Go find the original tweet. Look at the replies. He was getting destroyed. Is there one that you want me to? You want me to put some of those up?
I was going to read that one that you sent me, that KR Arkansas posted.
Yeah. Did I send that in our little group chat?
Yeah, I was looking for it.
Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. But
let me read how many replies there are to this one tweet. He has 62 comments, 51 retweets.
Yeah, he's. I think that's what they call getting ratioed.
Yes,
and
that's what they call
the majority, like I would say 90% of the replies were people talking about, hey, you want us to give more money than what we're already doing? Give us a good product on the field.
Well, for me, what I want to see is more, I don't want to say bang for your buck, but like someone said, every time there's a meal at Wright's, round up a couple cents, or have a day at Splash Car Wash or whatever. I have it pulled up here. KR of Arkansas. So someone said 9th in the SEC, that's the real ranking and it sucks. He said there is only one way to change it. KR of Arkansas said, you cannot block donors because you disagree with them. working in your capacity. We can't afford, as a program, you replying to every tweet with dissent. You won't change minds like that at all. Get a new PR firm stat. It's a desperate time and calls for desperate measures. Oh, I won't be taking the semi-daily call from NWA. I'm also over this mess and don't agree with how this is set up, ran, or going. It's turned me off the whole department as a foundation member. Not renewing this year, pass it up the chain for what it's worth. And then Bart said, I'm getting the emails too. I'm not donating to the RF Foundation this year either. The revenue sports have ruined it for me in 2 short years. I refuse to spend my hard-earned money on 18-year-old kids who is going to school for free and will probably transfer at some point.
Well, and that's a valid point, because with the way the portal is in every sport now, there's no guarantee. So if let's say I did $100 to $150 a month for the NIL collective. Okay.
Yes.
My money goes to Layden Blocker. That's the first name come off the top of my head. Okay. It's going to Blocker. He's getting his NIL money. What happens to all this money that's gone to him if he comes up and decides to transfer at the end of the year?
And that's why I don't think it should be paid for by fans. And especially I want to know how they're going to do this, because they're talking about how Edge is now going to be if you donate a certain amount to Edge, you get an increase in when you buy season tickets. But that's what the Razorback Foundation is for. So why is there now a whole separate thing? Why is it not two different,
Sarah, here's my thing. Why in the hell do the fans have to pay for the NIL? Because originally I thought this whole thing was a business thing where it was between business.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So are we just that desperate? I mean, because think about it. You had said this when this thing debuted a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I should say. Weeks, months, I don't know. They're all running together. But you had made the point, Sarah, that or MC may have. I think it was Sarah.
Yeah.
That you pay $5,000 for a donation just to guarantee season tickets. And then you pay, some of us down here live in Central Arkansas or further south or
further east.
MC, further east. And it takes money to get there. It takes money for the hotel room. Because let's face it, y'all, hotels usually run about $100 a night.
Minimum.
Day weekend.
Minimum. It's $300 a night up here
right now.
Prices
up. So you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go see a 3-9 football team, and you want us to pay for NIL deals so they can put on a shitty football? I mean,
and that's why I think if the Edge was smart, they would have the Edge night where I go to the Take 5, I get a $20 car wash, 5 of that goes to NIL. I need a car wash anyway. I'm going there half the time anyway.
Right.
Or make it a button on the screen where you get a $25 car wash for, however many dollars, and 5 of it goes to NIL or whatever. Even rounding up at Wrights, rounding up at Sassy's, the places we already have connections with. Why are we not utilizing these connections? Wrights does have the big boy, whatever, the O-line men, they get one. I love that. That's what NIL is meant to be.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it's meant to be. So why not utilize your corporate partnerships you already have instead of going on Twitter and asking for one, and have nights where Hog fans can be up here?
And have y'all? I had to step away. I had technical difficulties, but have y'all touched on the fact that he started blocking?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a bold strategy to block people that you're asking to give money. I mean, that.
Hi, honey.
My mama, God rest her soul, always said, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I've seen NIL work in some great ways, especially on our campus. There are certain people, I don't want to touch too much on it because I probably know too much than I'm supposed to know, but there's a certain person who runs an NIL with a certain team. And instead of those guys getting a giant lump sum, they get an occasional allowance. They get help with groceries. They help them. They go up to the DMV with them and help them get their, license, their car registered. Yeah. They help pay for that type of stuff. They don't just hand the guys $2 million. Yeah. Those guys have to work for that money and have to go through the training which I think every college athlete should have to take multiple accounting classes in order to get $1 million.
Yeah,
It's just
I agree.
Look, William Brown even says it here. By the way, I think he's a new fan. Welcome into the Hog Pen, Will.
Welcome in, William.
If you're okay with me calling you that. Only way to fix it is to put a cap on NIL. Business owners are not going to keep forking more and more because a college athlete has a value of just under a professional athlete. Let me put it to you this way. Katie and I were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, okay? Brock Purdy, starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
That made it to the Super Bowl. Who was also picked dead ass last.
Yep.
Okay. Makes $850,000. The backup quarterback for the University of Texas, not Arch Manning, I don't think. The backup behind Quinn Ewers makes $2.2 million in NIL deals. That is,
So along that same line, I was reading. I heard it on a sports talk show. Jackson Dart, quarterback at Ole Miss. Part of his NIL deal, in addition to all the money, is that he has a private jet at his disposal for whenever, wherever. Why?
A college athlete? He should be in.
Well, but
I mean, this is Manziel stuff. This is the stuff that
Okay,
Johnny
but if
Manziel talked about with Shannon Sharp. So
let's stay home for a minute, okay? If you're going to make that argument, now we're comparing apples to
We gave our guy a Corvette.
Gave our guy a Corvette and Louis Vuitton suits, man.
yeah,
And
and
I'm
you
sorry.
see what happened.
And I'm
you
sorry.
See what happened.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be the first to say it. All right. I'm the loudest mouth in the fan base for a reason.
Louder.
Yeah. That's what. Never mind. Damn it, MC.
Sorry.
Eat your taters.
There you go.
Commercial break.
But look, here's this. But you give him all this money, you give him all this stuff, and he goes out and shits the bed.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
He goes
leaves.
And then tuck tails between his leg and runs off to Orlando.
How much did NSJ get? Just to not even hardly play an entire season. And I get NIL is not supposed to be performance based, but at some point
It needs to be.
you
It
have
needs
to put something on there.
If it
Okay.
was okay, they say the NCAA doesn't allow it to be performance based, but let's get real. If it wasn't performance based, then you would have the scout team left tackle making the same as your starting quarterback.
Katie corrected me. Thanks, babe. It's
So
it is
Manning.
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning. Okay.
She says there should be a 30-day return policy on NIL deals after the season's over.
Someone
Basically what that means is, and she kind of broke it down a few weeks ago, is, and Katie, if I'm wrong, help me out here, is if you don't play, you don't get paid. And if you don't stay at that school, the difference that you have pays that money back.
Yep.
You know, if you cannot, there needs to be a clause in the contracts that says you have to stay at this school for a certain amount of time to get this money.
Well,
and there needs to be a clause, and that's the problem. And you get into the point of like, what if Musk left? What if the school went to shit?
I mean,
Then there's so much other shit going on.
how much deeper into that pile you want to go? We ain't even touched the game from Saturday yet.
But I'm saying like if you put in a clause saying like if you leave, but what if Arkansas goes to shit? What if they don't have the graduate program that player needs? What if their coach leaves? What if the team has what happened at Baylor where the teammate shoots another teammate? I'm not staying. I'm getting the hell out of there.
That happened at Bama too, and nothing happened. I'm sorry. Was that a little touchy?
They didn't shoot another player. They didn't shoot a same teammate.
All I heard was shooting. My bad. Sorry. You know, there are special. Help me out here, MC. Circumstances. Okay, there are special circumstances that can be put in each individual contract, but you can't look. And I'm gonna say this. Okay, Jordan Wright went to high school with him. Owner, operator, creator of Wright's Barbecue. Cool dude. But you have to step up to the plate. Yes, the entire offensive line got an NIL deal with Rice Barbecue. Great, awesome. But if they're getting paid in barbecue sandwiches and your starting quarterback is around here flaunting a damn Corvette, you kind of feel a little disrespected because you're the guy guarding.
Yeah, and there's layers, deep layers to that story. My mindset, and I'm old school. If I hadn't made that clear yet, I'm old school. But if I'm a quarterback,
how old are you there, MC?
older than Google.
Old enough to be my dad.
Old enough to remember Ask Jeeves.
I mean, yeah. So Sarah just drove the knife completely through my chest there.
Well, I wasn't going to,
but my feeling is, if I am Arch Manning, if I'm Jackson Dart, if I'm KJ Jefferson, and I'm making all this NIL money, after I take care of my mama, you know who I'm taking care of next? These dudes that are in front of me every Saturday, making sure I don't get knocked on my ass constantly.
Oh, I was thinking basketball wise. I'm taking care of myself.
well, I mean, but you know, and then we could, again, this sounds like
There's a reason Sarah doesn't play anymore.
Basketball's a little different. I mean, you know, but I mean, just that just seems like common sense to me. And maybe it was done and we didn't hear anything about it. I think word would have got out. You know, I go back and Zach, you'll like this one. I listened to an interview with Troy Aikman one time, and he and Emmitt Smith, who, you know, Sarah, these are old school NFLers, in case you don't know who we're talking about. They took turns taking the offensive line out for expensive steak dinners.
Yeah.
So
they still do that. Like the other day, like a quarterback bought or for Christmas, they bought them all like little gaming, like arcade console. Like they do it every year.
Okay, but and Loki says it exactly what I was fixing to say right out of my mouth. He says, "Take care of the people that take care of you."
That's it. I mean, but we don't. I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just saying if it is, we're not hearing about it. And as much crap as we hear about, you would think we would hear, hey, KJ bought all of the, you know, the entire offensive line. He bought them all a new suit, or, you know, got them all $1,000 gift cards or whatever. You know?
I want to go back to this comment real quick. And I know we're talking long about NIL, but this dude put his foot in his mouth. So far. William Brown says, kid from Bryant that transferred out of state and committed to Auburn got 2 dump trucks for his family business and over $600,000. And those dump trucks aren't your standard dump. I mean, these were the big mofos, man.
So is this the quarterback?
The kid out of
one of the private schools, right?
I think it was Little Rock Christian.
Little Rock Christian? Okay, yep.
Because one of them went to Arkansas, the other one went to Auburn.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was who he was talking about, but I wanted to make sure I had my mind working right there.
My whole thing about this whole thing is either now and then. Was a D lineman? I thought it was a quarterback. Oh, Bryant. I'm an idiot. Sorry, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So
that caught us both off guard.
Too many players.
All right.
There's a couple. I found a couple more tweets that I want to hit on real quick. You know, tied to this NIL, because Sid Vicious on Twitter.
There's some funny ones out there
there are some funny ones. He has a couple questions. I'm trying to find the first one, but the second one's here in front of me, and it's at my name is Sid with 4 Ds. He says, what obligations must the athletes meet in order to get NIL money? Do we pay it all up front or in payments? I think the reason fans are skeptical is because there is zero transparency. And again, I already contribute, but honestly, I'm not impressed with what I have seen so far. And he had another question. I'm going to try to find the other one that he had. Okay, so here's the other one. I felt like that was a legit question that needs, and the transparency piece of it, I think, needs to be addressed.
That's been one of my main questions the whole time, has been, I'm donating $1,000, which I've never been on the website. So someone who's donated to this Edge fund or whatever can correct me here. But from what I know, you're donating to the Edge fund. You're not donating to soccer or basketball or football. So my question is, if they get $16 million, is that divided up by every athlete? Or then are you deciding, football gets 33% because they're 33% of our revenue, or they get this. But then what I find really interesting is baseball has their whole other NIL website for bats, for jerseys, for posters.
Yeah, baseball has their own separate deal working.
Yeah,
Jesse, then my question is,
Jesse just said you can specify the sport. So, by the way, shout out to him.
Or you have to.
You can't. I think he says he can.
But I want to know: do you have to specify? Because what happens to the money that's not specified to a sport? Can I select multiple sports?
I think
there's just a lot of freaking things that need to be figured out here.
Yeah. Well, and so this Sid
Sarah needs to make their website.
He has another really good question. His first question was, what is the goal for yearly contributions? Are we trending towards the goal? How are the funds distributed among the sports, like we're talking about? As a current contributor, I can tell you all where I want my funds directed. What exactly is the strategy to grow the Arkansas Edge? Dude's got some legit questions here. And I've not seen these. I haven't been on the FAQ section of the website, but I mean, this is
none of those are answered. I've been on that part of the website.
Yeah.
Well, and then also you when you donate, let's say $500, you get a sweatshirt, a non-branded sweatshirt, a thing I can buy at Walmart and iron on something too.
Yeah, it's not the Nike embroidered one that Hunter Yurchek was wearing. It's not that one.
No.
Okay.
He gets a Nike one, of course.
So I meant to do this during the baseball segment, but I'm gonna do it now. So shameless plug. Flying Elephants Design Company, formerly known as Little Elephants Design Company, has come out with a new product. And these are badass, dude. This is one that was made over the weekend. That is Baum Stadium. That is a picture of Baum Stadium. Let me see. It's a metal plastic table. Y'all get the point. The Etsy
smack it on your head real good.
I don't need another concussion. Damn, Sarah. Our Etsy shop's going to be up soon. We are working closely with them. By the way, shameless plug. That's Katie's company, by the way. So she's going to have her Etsy shop. She's going to have her that badass dude. She's going to have her Etsy shop up and have all of that. She makes all kinds of stuff, dude. I mean, shirts. She's like some of the stuff I couldn't even do. All right, even if I tried hard enough. So, shameless plug there, but it's a koozie, man. It's one of them little metal koozie things.
That's awesome.
That John told us we couldn't take Ed last year.
I know, right? Well, that's why I asked you about the flags and stuff. So, we're gonna put a pin in this NIL talk, and I think MC, we should do a podcast on that. Because there's a lot to it, and there's a lot that a lot of people have questions about. So I think if you're not subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe to it. But on the other side of the break, I didn't want to do this, and I wish I had the death march from The Undertaker in WWE, because basketball just
this is gonna be a 5-minute conversation.
May they rest in peace. But we have Casey Sutton, our number one fan, had a special request to describe exactly what the basketball season is, and you're gonna find out on the other side of the break. You're listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. And for weeks now, Casey and Mama Linda are two of our biggest fans, the two biggest fans of ITHP. And I'm sorry, but nobody's going to be able to touch them. They have been fans of ours since day numero uno. And she has been after me for weeks to put this up here to just describe Arkansas basketball. All right, that's gonna do it for us. That described everything. No, I'm kidding.
Hold up, it didn't go down. It was a hanger.
Oh,
It didn't get clogged.
it got a hanging turd somewhere.
Yeah.
Boy, this came off the rails quick, didn't it? All right, so we did a watch along and we gave our live reactions on Twitter last night actually. It was last night. That feels like it's so long ago. And I'm gonna, you know what, MC, I'm gonna open up the floodgates, but I think everybody's already just kind of like typical, to hell with it. But dude, your reactions last night, you're a hoop dude, all right?
I am. I'm a hoop guy first. I fully admit it, but this team has made me, when it's time for a game to come on, if I watch it, I'm sitting here like, oh, fuck. Like I gotta watch this again.
I
Yeah, that's and I have credit built up on those because I usually don't use mine. But that was the only way.
I literally live in Fayetteville, had a free ticket and didn't go.
I just
didn't even show up to the game. Just stayed home. That's how bad it was.
Doing so well. And how do you lose to the second worst team in the SEC at home? No less. And the crowd. By the way, the crowd there. God bless anybody that went to that game. Because
my question is, you say we're doing better. We had 2 games where we looked.
No. We strung together 4 wins. Okay.
No, it was only 3. Last night was supposed to be 4.
Oh, was it 4? I thought it was 5.
I think so. That's how much I haven't paid attention. I don't even know.
That's the thing. I mean, normally I could rattle that off just like that, but I am so.
Look, he said, that's okay, Sarah. The team didn't go to the game either.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, they didn't either. We had 2 wins in a row. We had 2 wins in a row. Texas A&M and Missouri.
And if we're being honest,
last night would have been 3. They're not that great.
Yeah, and we struggled against Missouri, like MC was saying.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you'd asked me before the show to pull up the stats on this. I'm looking at the box score here. I mean, these stats are. I said in our group chat, they're coyote ugly. Like
I don't even.
Let's hear it. Wait. So let's hear
hold up. Let me say something. Fuck the stats. Let's just go to the last 30 seconds of the game.
Hold please. Okay. Hold please. If you're just joining us, hold please.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Sorry.
Okay. Fuck the stats. Let's go to the last 30 seconds.
Again, that's 2.
We found. My mom's in the comments.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Oh man. For the night, the night for mom to show up. Oh. Eat your taters, Sarah.
But really, the stats don't matter when you foul not 90 feet, 45 feet from the basket. Yeah. Dude's back is to the basket.
With 3 seconds on the shot clock.
3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Not only did you do that, then you don't block out on a free throw. Free throw.
Vanderbilt tries to give it back to us. We're down 3 with, I don't remember how much time was left. 30-ish seconds?
28.9 seconds,
okay.
I think.
So Vanderbilt's up 3. They miss both free throws, but we don't bother to even try to go after a rebound. Vanderbilt gets the offensive rebound, puts it in, and gets fouled.
Yes.
I mean, talk about the dagger.
Let me see. I'm about to look and see how much time is left on the clock.
I mean, like I said,
foul by.
It's just, I mean,
my whole thing is there no leadership? Because
no,
You asked this on Twitter after the game because we turned it off at like 8 minutes, and then we're sitting around talking, and all of a sudden they kept pulled within 3. We turn it back on, and they crapped the bed again. I can't say my F-bomb because Sarah took it from me.
Yeah, Sarah took it. And Mama heard it.
Mama heard it twice.
Only the one time she's watching live.
Yeah.
She's going to get you now. But MC, you asked this on Twitter after the game. Has Muss checked out too? I mean, it's got to be
some of the decisions, and Jesse, right on time, buddy. I mean, that was perfectly timed. If I was throwing you an alley-oop, you would have knocked it, you would have broke the backboard down with this on your timing.
Yeah.
No bigs on the court for those free throws, which falls on Muss. Yes, we had taken our bigs out of the game. We had, I think, 4 guards and
Mark
and Mark. 4 guards and Mark. I mean,
you fouled with 22 seconds left, 45 feet from the basket, with the back to the goal.
And they're about to
commit a shot clock violation. There's very few times that people have 0 IQ, and one of those people is Trevin Brazil. 0 court IQ.
Hold on.
0.0.
I know where you're going, but hold that thought. But Sarah, look. The more you dissect that last play with 3 seconds on the shot clock, the more, because I looked at it about 4 or 5 times, and I think MC, you might have too.
Yeah.
The more you look at it, the worse it gets.
Yes.
The more you dissect it and you play it in slow motion and you back it up like you're dissecting game film, Sarah. The more you look at it, the worse it's going to be. Okay.
Yep.
From top to bottom. They were trying to be fancy. And
let me say F the play. F the play. It's been his whole season.
Low-key, that was 3.
I said F. I didn't say the word. I didn't say
she didn't say it. That
F.
one don't count. So
F the play the whole season with him. The whole season with him.
So William
I don't
Brown,
know what it is. Everybody thought he was so great last year. We hadn't even played a conference opponent last year, and y'all hyped him up. I think he is the laziest 0 IQ man on that dang court every single play. And that's comparing him to Mekhi Mitchell, which is very, very hard to call him lazy over Mekhi. But they're both lazy.
Yeah.
That'll preach. I mean, I was big on Brazil prior to his injury because of the way he played in Maui. If you go back to last season –
against teams that, where did they end up? None of them made it to the
Creighton
Elite
ended up in the Elite 8. San Diego State ended up in the Sweet 16 Elite 8.
Okay, so none of them made it to the Final Four. You're not talking about a Final Four team that he just dunked on every time. No, and honestly, the only person who saved us in Maui was Kamani Johnson.
Okay,
it's not Prairie View A&M either.
No, but at the same time, MC, has he proven Missouri fans right?
I mean, they kind of looking like prophets now,
I mean, you really can't.
Okay,
I mean,
Sarah, you see D-Mad's comment?
Yeah, but he didn't save that game. He saved the Creighton game. San Diego State, come on, he saved us.
But he still had a solid stat line. He averaged a double-double the whole time we were in Maui over those 3 games.
He should have a triple-double. He should have a
I'm not arguing
triple. He should have.
We're not arguing that fact. He should have.
If he could play up to his standards, he could have any bucket he wanted. But he is lazy. He wants to stand outside the 3-point line, catch the ball, and all he wants to do is drive, or he wants to catch a lob and put his nuts on someone's face. That's the only thing he wants to do.
So, Zach, did you get this this comment from William Brown about why Brazil came back?
No.
I'm putting it up again just in case because I don't think we read it.
William Brown says, honestly, I think the powers of NIL forced Muss to play Brazil. This team has sucked with him, got hot without him, yet we bring him back and gave him 25 minutes. This kind of ties into the last segment, okay?
NIL has nothing to do with Brazil. Brazil was injured, and he came back because he wasn't going to get drafted, so he came back. I'm tired of people blaming NIL.
Okay. Wait a minute. Sarah,
NIL.
Take a breath.
NIL is the devil.
Okay. Nick Smith
didn't play shitty basketball.
Nick Smith didn't play half as much as Brazil did last year. Okay. That's my point. Muss was not forced to play Brazil. Okay, I see where you're coming from as far as the NIL aspect of it, but there's no way that a coach has to play a player. I mean, MC, is that
Then okay?
Brazil's not the
Screw it,
highest
I'll
paid
go
player
there.
on the team. As someone who
I'll
knows
go-
the team, he's not the highest paid player. I can
I'll
tell you
go
that.
there. If Muss does not have to play somebody, then why was somebody allowed to come back?
My question is, who are you going to play? You're going to play lazy Mekhi Mitchell? I can't hit a shot. Chandler Lawson. I can't hit a shot the whole damn
bigs
team.
only? I mean, because
I'm talking about any of them.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
And I mean, look at it. Look,
I don't think anybody does.
I mean, I throw Brazil in there just to see if he can put the ball in the hole. But they're not used to putting the ball in the hole. They're used to just throwing it up and touching the rim and the ball falling in.
If you're looking for somebody who's going to potentially put the ball in the hole, why are there two guys who have not been given a shot all year long?
Kate Arbogast?
Well, no. No, I'm not.
I just wanted to say.
I just almost
that
said
was Lawson
something that was
Blake.
going to get me kicked off this show so fast.
That's why I said it. I was like, I want to test it.
So why not? I mean, if you're looking for a big, why not give Bayfall some minutes? Is he honestly going to play worse?
That man's going to break a leg walking out there. Next.
Well, and Brazil's not.
Okay. Sarah, I was just fixing to say, Brazil's not?
Brazil at least halfway puts in some effort. Bayfall is literally a toothpick that if I touched him, I'd break him, which I could break half the team. But
so Adam Hall,
that man's getting broke in 2 seconds.
Why is Joey not getting any playing time? Because I keep hearing defensive liability.
The two games he put in, Mekhi put in effort. He has a double-double. But when he comes back and he's lazy, how many points did this mother trucker have last night?
Ooh, she's on one. Ain't she?
So why?
Look, I'm gonna call him lazy because how many points did this big have? Oh, look, total points.
You looking at Mekhi?
0.
Yeah, he put up the goose egg last night.
0 points against Vandy, the worst team in the effing conference, and he has 0 points. And you're gonna tell me he's not lazy? That man could have walked circles and dunked on them hoes if he would have tried.
I mean, Bayfall could have put up a goose egg.
But Loki hit it on the head. Welcome to an impromptu episode.
I told y'all not to bring up basketball.
So why can't we get our boy Joey at least 5 minutes a game? Is he really that much worse on defense than anybody else?
He went in last night for 20 seconds, I think.
But I mean, why is he? I mean, I think this is
he played for 4 seconds.
Why is he not getting an opportunity?
Because even when he's in, he sucks. What was Mekhi's plus minus? -7. His was minus the worst one on the team, Adam. I know my.
Easy now. Adam's a friend of the show. Easy now.
It's just because I'm a female. They want to argue with the female.
Easy. All right. Everybody go to your corner.
That's a joke. That's a joke for everybody that doesn't know. I got told that I didn't know ball last night.
Go to your separate corners. Ding, 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 ding.
But no, Mekhi's plus minus was the worst one on the team last night.
You know, this game.
The second highest was Tremont Mark, and then you have Battle and.
So this game reminded me of the Missouri football game. You know, when all the fights broke out and everything.
Yeah.
What?
You know, it's bad when we have more technical fouls than wins.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I mean, it's a lack of leadership, and I think it's a lack of trust within each other. Okay? That's why the three of us, except for tonight when Sarah's on one, can bounce off each other so well. It's that trust that we all have in each other. They don't have that. Because in 17 games, Sarah, he has had 13 to 15 different lineups. You cannot get any cohesion. You cannot get any. any teamwork if you're playing 15 different lineups in 17 games?
So 17 different lineups sounds a little much, but
that's the stat that ESPN put out last night, I think.
There's no way.
I mean, we've had very few games where we've had the exact same people starting.
But still, it's still a team. It doesn't matter. In high school, there was games I didn't play. There was games I played every minute of. You learn to play as a team. Shouldn't matter who's playing when and who's playing where. It's a team sport. It is not that hard to throw the ball to who is open. Throw the ball in the basket if you're open. It's not. It is.
But how many games have we seen where these guys don't play like a team?
How many games have we played?
Yeah.
How many? I was gonna say how many games?
How many games have we played?
I just took that right out of my hand.
We're 14-14 now.
Like I said, in honor of Casey, this is what the basketball season has come to.
It's worse than that for me. Like
looking over, I'm looking over the box score.
Also, like last night in a space, I'm hearing that, Muss was going to Louisville because he's fighting with the Hunts, and now him and the Hunts have made up, so he's not going to Louisville. I'm so tired of everybody and they dang mama knowing everything and everyone about what's going on that team. I can tell you, none of y'all know F about
Do you hear that? It just hit the filter.
None of y'all know anything. I promise you, the Hunts aren't deciding where Muss is going to go. Danielle's deciding where Muss is going to go.
I'm having fun on the soundboard tonight, y'all.
Danielle and
the team doesn't go to Dixon together. The team doesn't like each other. They don't hang out. They're more worried about who's the coolest one on the team. Like it's literally.
So as we're wrapping up here, Jesse's got a legit question. He says, how much of the struggles fall on Muss's poor game management? Last night was the first time out I can remember in the last 2 or 3 games. MC, you want to take this one?
What's a timeout matter if your team sucks?
What do you think?
The timeout, Muss is not a guy. He's not a guy that uses his timeout. That's been the thing with him ever since he got here. He doesn't use timeouts like the traditional way that you see other coaches use them. Sometimes it bothers me. Sometimes it doesn't. It kind of depends on the situation. How much of the struggles fall on Muss? Poor game management. For me, the buck stops with the guy making the big bucks sitting in the big chair. Okay.
How many conversations do you think that Muss?
I have. Well,
Yurchek have had about this.
Nah, I don't think there's. The only way Muss leaves is if he wants to leave. He's not in any danger. I mean, this is one bad season. Hubert Davis at North Carolina had a season where they missed the NCAA tournament, turned down the NIT bid, and then come back next year. I think the year after that, they make the Final Four. The NIL and the portal has changed things to where you're going to have your blue blood teams having an off year. This is an off year.
I said this.
Here's the hill. Let me throw this out. I've thrown this out in other shows. I've thrown it out on Twitter. I've put it out everywhere. This is my hill that I'm dying on. One of the big problems with this team is that this is the weakest staff that Muss has had in his entire time here. Okay,
maybe because he hired both of his kids.
Well, you replace Gus Arginal and Clay Mosier, two veteran assistants that basically one of them was an offensive coordinator, the other one was a defensive coordinator. You replace those two guys who have been in the game 15, 20, 25 years, whatever it is, with two guys that have never sat on the bench in a big game. Sarah went big pimping on us with her background there. I like it. And I don't mean any disrespect towards Little Muss or Ronnie Brewer either one. But there's going to be fall off when you replace two guys that have 20 plus years experience each with two guys who have never sat on the bench in a big game.
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys are also responsible for scouting in the portal. They are responsible for in-game scouting, the scouting reports on how you prepare for the game. Muss has said earlier this year that he has been more hands-on this season in the pregame preparation than he has any other year. Why? Because the guys that he replaced, the guys that left with, are not of the same caliber. And I'm saying, and I saw a comment come in. Jesse's got another great comment here that ties to what I'm saying. Players have some blame as well. At some point, the players have to execute.
At some point, though, you've coached enough and the season's just over and you just give up.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
All right, as we close out here, boy, this was fun.
This has been a fun one.
I think this was a Sarah therapy session towards the end. She was.
I'm not even done. That's what's crazy. There's so many topics I could rant about.
A lot of pent up rage on that one.
You're gonna get a call from Mama the instant the show's
right. Right.
She's supposed to be working. If she's still on here, she's supposed to be working.
So Loki's been tallying Sarah's stats. He says Sarah's final stats for the basketball segment: F-bomb counter, 2.5 questionable. 2.5 questionable innuendos, 1 other assorted swear words. Honestly, in the heat of the moment, I sort of lost count myself.
Well, and I'll say this for one thing: nobody can doubt Sarah's passion when it comes to hoops.
No.
If anybody says she doesn't have passion and she doesn't know her game, I'm going to refer them to the February 28th edition of Inside the Hawg Pen. And
Chuck tried to warn us.
My thing, this isn't even passion. This is the fact that we have honestly not seen effort. And that is one thing that you can never watch my games and say that I didn't go out on that court and give my all. There was games y'all didn't even realize I had just got a cortisone shot in my hand, ankles bruised, concussions, migraines. I was still on. And this team, I have a migraine. Like, I get migraines. People were telling me in Twitter, like, oh, migraines suck. I get them. I played through it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I literally
got
a
how bad do you want it?
needle inserted into my hand so that I could shoot the next day during a game, right before the state tournament.
So I posted this last night on the God damn it, Loki. MC,
no, because I don't know how to dunk, low-key. But yes, Jesse, I'll be in the Hog Pen on Friday. I'll be up front. If you don't hear me yelling daddy, then I'm not there.
We see, in closing here, we see all these. We used to see all these Instagram videos of them in the, on the practice court taking shots and dancing and all this other crap. Where's that at? Number 2, yes, Khalif Battle, 42 points, and I said this last night on the reaction show. It's just like the KJ thing. Nobody cares if you've got a losing record.
He had 30. I didn't even realize he had 36 points last night.
Yeah.
And the game was so terrible that I didn't even realize he had 36 until I looked at this box score.
That's just
if I'm Vandy and he has 36 points and we just won, this is why I'm doing his face.
I mean, Ellis had 19 last night. 7 out of 12 from the field. That's one of the best games Ellis has had forever.
Makai Mitchell had.
So
Makai had the same amount of points I did.
Yeah. So final thoughts as we get out of here. MC, we'll start with you, buddy.
Chuck, I'm going to tie this back to baseball real quick. I heard a quote from Bubba Carpenter yesterday on the radio broadcast that applies to what Sarah was talking about with a lack of effort. Bubba had a quote that said, "Hustle never slumps." I like it.
Sarah, take a breath. And what have you got?
It's baseball season, baby.
Yes.
There you go.
If you see me on Friday and I'm walking straight, say hi. If I'm stumbling a little, you never saw me. Because I don't know what's going to happen.
Don't let her hit the ground. If you see her stumbling, don't let her hit the ground.
I'm not the one that's intoxicated. I'm usually stumbling trying to catch somebody else.
Frank? Kidding.
Nope, you're about right.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm right, I'm right. But, All right, that's going to do it for us on this edition of Inside the Hog Pen. For Marcus MC Carlton, for Sarah Swish Vogel, I'm Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Until next time, so long, everybody.